Friday, and you know what that means. It's time for action in the IndyCar iRacing Series. Hello again, everybody. I am Gary Gazzo. Welcome to race first coverage of lucky round number 13 of the 2022 IndyCar iRacing Series. I bet you they had no idea that they were putting round 13 here with this road course. But it's going to be the roar of the South Shore, the Windy City Grand Prix from the new downtown Chicago street course. Joining me for expert and analysis in the booth to witness everything that might become today, he rejoins us from being on assignment last week. He drives for the Turn 4 racing team in the Velocity Online Racing IndyCar Series and others. Please welcome Nick Sudik. Nick, you got a chance to turn some laps here. This isn't going to be your standard run-of-the-mill street course race, will it?
No, this is, I put out the tweet about an hour ago. This is going to be like a battle royale. So in a past life, I was pretty good at PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and Fortnite, and I got into that hype pretty well. This is going to be about survival. Managing the tires. There's not a lot of grip on these streets. Very, very bumpy as well too. It's gonna be about mastering car control. It's gonna be about almost like what they say in Sebring is respecting the bumps, and then just being able to trust yourself into throwing it through some of these sweeping corners. There's about 2 or 3 sweeping right-handers where the brave will cut tenths, if not full seconds, off of their lap times if they choose to be aggressive. So very interesting. We'll touch upon strategy a little bit later, I'm sure, as the race goes on, because I don't know. There's a lot of unknowns, even from just the first races of the week that have been going on so far. But we have a stout field here. Right,
there's only been one official split up until today. Well, actually, I think we got 2 today. Of course, this is the top split. And myself, I really don't have much to go on. And maybe Matt might not like this, but I'm going to throw up the graphic. This is the from the Formula Indy Series when they raced here. They had 17 cars, and only 4 finished on the lead lap, which actually I think is pretty good. And 2 cars finished within 10 seconds of each other at the front of the pack. But I think just about everybody had some level of impact other than the leader, because he had 0 incidents. Actually, there's a couple guys that had 0 incidents, but just about everybody had some sort of impact, either with another car, a wall, or something on the street course. But that's my only frame of reference to kind of put against what we're getting ready to see here today. And you can find that in the season 2 for the Formula Indy Series in the playlist there on Race First, if you subscribe to the channel. So we are in the middle of qualifying. How are times looking?
Looking pretty good. We got somebody. We got Archie Conveny in that 8 car making an appearance here. The 109 bracket. That's a really strong time. I know we've got the heavy hitters. We got Lyon, Rashad Craig, Porcelli, Bodafior, who just put up low 110, but he is on another lap as
Cesar
well,
Cabral just put it on its lid.
But yeah, no, there's a lot of tricky sections in here. The most notable part of this track, I mean, like I said, it's bumpy everywhere, but the most notable part is that 7, 8, 9, 10 complex over the that's like that sweeping left-hander. Not only is it very bumpy, but it's also off camber. If you hit the bump the wrong time, or you give it a little too much throttle, going around 8, 9, and 10, you're gonna lose it. You're gonna lose it. And as I was saying that, I was actually riding on board with the 1 car, and John lost it actually right there too. So that's gonna be the trouble spot, I believe. It's gonna be, as the tires wear out, it's gonna be very hard. You can't even on fresh tires go full throttle through there, just because of how undulating it is with
Rashid Craig. Rashid
Yeah.
Craig to the top.
Wow.
109.387, so 2/10 quicker than Coveney.
Yeah, we've got this is definitely in NASCAR terms, this is like our Talladega or our Daytona. This is our wild card race right here. Anything could happen. We've got almost a 3,500 strength of field, which is very, very good. One of our higher rated races of the year so far. 23 drivers are all in it. You could start last and be able to pick up a podium here.
Well, I'll tell you, even starting from the pits might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, that could work. I've seen it work in the past, especially 60 laps here. It's going to be probably about an hour and 15-minute race, potentially longer if there's a lot of incidents too, or a lot of conserving. But yeah, we will have to see what is going on. I reached out to a couple Chicago residents, friends of mine too, and showed them the circuit. We were talking about it when the NASCAR announcement came that they were going to do it in real life. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they were kind of scratching their heads. They were like, "This is a great location, but these roads are not suitable for."
No, they're not. No, they're not. And they get beat up in the Chicago winters by plows and salt and the elements and everything. And these are not great roads to race on. But it is a pretty picturesque area. It's down there near the Shed Aquarium, not too far away from where Soldier Field is. If you watched Married with Children, the fountain at the front end of their promo there, or their intro for their show, that is right there, right next to the start-finish line here. That's the start-finish line is on South Columbus, and they use a good part of South Columbus. Then they use a portion of a Lakeshore Drive, so we can actually say that these drivers are on LSD today. Then they use a small portion of East Roosevelt Road. Then it comes back to Balbo Street, and then the arc on Congress Plaza, and then Jackson Drive to take you back north up to Columbus and then back onto the main straightaway. So we'll go back over that configuration here for you. We'll probably have a track map as well, but it's a short, bumpy course. And your friends and my family, I have my wife's family from the area, and I've actually been on these streets before. This is not suitable for an IndyCar by any means.
It'll be really interesting to see when they do set it up. I'm wondering if the city might try to take care of some of these roads when they do come in.
Well, it depends on how much. I guess it depends on how much kickback that the mayor's getting. No, I didn't mean that. We
are politics live here in the Race First universe.
Well, we know Chicago's reputation for that stuff. Let's just say that.
I was just thinking about good baseball teams personally, at least historically good baseball teams. But anywho, it looks like we are set on the grid, Gary. So
yeah, Cubs are off to Schneid there. So the Cubs are off to Schneid. They were struggling for a long time. White Sox got off to Schneid right after the Red Sox got off to Schneid. So now the next team here that really needs to win is, I think, it's back up on the Bears' shoulders again. And of course, the Colts took care of them a couple years ago on Super Bowl 41. So I'm all right with that. We're getting ready to line up.
The anticipation is growing here. I am so excited to see this. As crazy as it might be, as nerve-wracking as these 23 virtual pilots are, as nervous as they are, it's a very exciting time for us here.
Well, let's get this starting lineup in here, and the lineup really changed here right at the end. We got a new pole sitter.
Yes.
After one, I go ahead and start it here. Heio Matsuda qualifies P1 with a 109.3. Rashid Craig P2 with a 109.387. The difference between the two is a 109.346 and a 387, so 400ths right there. Archie Company P3, Dennis Fritz P4, Matthias Kraus P5, and John Betefuhr P6.
Got in 7th spot. One of my teammates, good to see him up there, Kevin Burrell. Chris Bauman in the 8th spot. Richard Crozier 9th. Dan Piazza in 10th. Julian Kleinbusnik is 11th, and we've got Adriano Gomez in 12th.
Picking it up at 13th, Danielle Noventa, P13 there. And the number 16, Charles Sears. Oh, man, he has a whole tower named after him there. He's P14, and the number 17, James Andrews, 15th. Our man Cesar Cabral, and the lucky number 13 on P16. Our friend Dave Porcelli, we're going to see how well he can do deep in the field, P17, and Andrew Brunton, in P20, in the 20th car, and the number 20 car in P18.
19th, Eric Hausler, and 20th with the last qualifying time, Laura Gerhardt. Good to see Laura back here in P20. And then, not posting a time, we have Will Lyon with might be a point strategy thought here. Like, it would have to be. He's starting from the back in 21st. I didn't get to see any of his laps if he hit, but our championship contender here, along with Adam Crane, who's not here, is going to be starting deep in the field. And then rounding out the last two spots, we have Rafa and Marsman.
Fabrizio Rafa, love the name. And Marsman there from, looks like he is from the Netherlands there in P23, starting shotgun on the field. So they're getting the whole tour before we go green. Man, final thoughts, what do you think?
Old tires, very easy to lock these up. I hope everybody is just going to be very attentive, take it safe the first couple of laps, and get a feel for the course, because hot lapping it is one thing, testing is one thing, but racing with 22 other opponents on the track there, that's going to be a true test of just not only concentration but your own car control skills. There
is the track map. Kind of like two boxes sitting on top of one another right there, pretty much. This portion of the racetrack, they're on here. This is Balbo Drive. And now they are turning on to Congress Plaza, which has the arc in it there. And you said it's off camber, so it's very weird.
Yeah, it's really weird. You have that yellow barrier on the inside. When I first started to run the course, I almost went to the inside of that. I thought that was highlighting.
Yeah, that is. I've seen many people do it. It's an easy thing to do. Now we are still on Congress Drive here, getting ready to make the turn on to Jackson. Jackson Drive North. They are going up and over the Metro rail tracks there for the commuter rail system. Yeah,
that's going to be very, very big trouble spot right there.
Car gets light at the top of that hill there too. And now we're on the main straight here on South Columbus Drive, getting ready to go green and calling the opening lap. I'm going to turn it over to you, Nick.
All right, we are off and running here. Matsuda has a pretty solid run going through turn one as they start to funnel through. Looks like no major incidents. They're going 2, possibly 3 wide in the mid-pack, though.
Yeah, here's the battle between Porcelli and Will Lyon already.
Wow. Yeah, we making it through pretty well, it looks like, so far.
Crozier in the wall in turn, gosh, where that out had to be turn 5 right there, just off of Franklin there.
Yeah, it has one of those spots. There's a lot of times where you have some bumps on that outside, so you don't want to take the actual optimum line there.
And that was Roosevelt, actually. Getting back up, the Arch Company loses it into the archway, and we collect 2. We collect 3. We collect 4, 5 cars contact in that area.
We have a track blocker here. Oh, he's backing up too. Oh, just hold your brakes, mate.
And he toes.
There. Oh, that is
the big one. That's what we are expecting. But Matsuda is starting to actually pull away a little bit from Rashid Craig. Rashid Craig finished second in the split race yesterday to Adam Crane. Beta Fear made it through. I believe he might have had some contact. But he is, looks like he's still moving. Principal Dan has worked his way up to P4. We'll get some interval information up on the screen here for you momentarily. Yeah, that was worst scenario situation right there.
Yeah, that. You know, I was saying you gotta put the feelers out early on, especially if you're for those drivers that haven't quite put the practice. As Sears goes past Bauman there for 6th place too, with a very nice overtaking around a conventional spot, going there into Congress. It was very, very, very impressive there.
Will Lyon already up to 9th. He's up 12 spots.
Yeah, one thing I'm very interested that you mentioned, kind of on the same wavelength there, with Lyon running that that primary tire. When I was doing some testing
Will
earlier,
Lyon. Watching him right now, he's swerving on the front stretch.
he keeps the pressure on Burrell. Burrell's going to burn those tires up in about 5 laps. They get overheated very quickly here because of how much you are sliding. We got a couple groups forming though.
Yeah,
so far.
watching one of them right here. This is for P7. Right behind them, led by Cesar Cabral. There's a run, a train for 10th. And then we also have a. It's about 7 seconds. I think a lot of that at Congressional Plaza Drive incident right through here in the archway really separated the top 3 from P4.
So I don't know if you noticed the way the cars were pitching there over right out of the end of Congressional Drive, that right-hander with the water barriers.
Yeah.
There's a hump right on the apex of that right-hander on the inside. Right now it is looking like that that back of the field start for Lyon was the right call so far too. Already up 12 positions so far.
Yeah, up 12 of the 9th. Yeah, still on Burrell's back end right now for the moment. Give him time. It's good. This whole race is going to be just patience. And Matsuda is really showing zero signs of any patience driving. He is putting his foot down and really trying to pull away from this group behind him here. Craig is starting to weed the number down a little bit. It's got it under 2 seconds now.
Yeah. We were talking about tires a couple minutes ago there. Beta Fuhrer actually has the primaries on, so it will be interesting in about 4 more laps. See if the fall off starts to come back his way right now, because he's definitely struggling for grip, but managing it very, very well so far. It's only about 1 second to half a second off the pace of the 2 front runners right now that are on the softer alternate tires.
At last time by, Matsuda 111 flat, Rashid Craig a 110.9, Beta Fuhrer 111.4. So Craig's the one on the top 3 that's kind of on it at the moment. He's got that lead down to 1.8 seconds now, up to Matsuda.
Yeah. If I'm Craig right now, again, Craig's got an outside chance still at that at the championship here, coming down to the end of the season. We only got a few more rounds to go, but he's looking great right now. He's got momentum on his side. He had a wonderful start, obviously. So I think just keeping it smooth. You know, Matsuda.
Let's bring up the IAS points really quick while we're in a little bit of a lull here. But Adam Crane is your leader. Will Lyon is P2. Matthias Kraus, that incident is going to really hurt him because that has relegated him way back in the back of the field after a good qualification. He is P3. Rashid Craig, is P4. Richard Crozier, he was 5th. But again, that wreck early on is going to hurt him. Principal Dan, currently 4th, is in a good position. Christopher Bauman, P7, in a good position. David Porcelli, not in a great position, but still a very long race to go. Julian Klein-Busnick, also in the lineup today. He's in the mid-pack at the moment. And Cesar Manzato, not in the lineup in P10. So just about everybody in the top 10 is in this race at the moment, with the exception of P1 and P10. And everyone's feeling some sort of impact already since this race has started.
Yes. And one thing to note too, Adam Crane did race that first slot, so he does have points on the board.
Yes, he does have, exactly, he has points on the board, and he's in the clubhouse too. So he's just waiting to see what everyone else does.
I'm just kind of flipping through the field here, checking out the couple of the other drivers here. I'm noticing a lot of the primary runners, they're really tiptoeing it around Congressional Drive, like that 8, 9, 10 complex. Yet again, we were talking about it. Really trying to prevent slipping there, trying to keep the heat down, preserve the tires through there, and just make sure the car doesn't bottom out. But it's very weird to see, because a lot of the softer tire runners, they're on it, like they're pushing because they know they gotta go.
Mac watching Will Lyon again in a battle with Chris Bauman. This is a battle for 7th. So he did make the pass around Burrell, moving Burrell back to 9th, but Burrell still sticking with this group. David Porcelli has moved up to 10th. He was in 15th not too long ago, so he has quickly worked his way up to the top 10 now. We'll get a picture of him here. There he is. Kind of by himself at the moment. Probably not a bad thing to consider on this course. Just focus on yourself instead of someone else around you.
I'm already seeing little puffs of smoke coming out of almost
cars
every
around. James Andrew, Cesar Cabral. And they're going to go straight to the pits.
Oh.
That was right on the last corner before corner number 12, coming onto the main straight there.
Oh. That's just corner speed, apex speed, the overlap there, and then you already have the tire unloaded. You're going to lock up immediately if you try to slow down. That's unfortunate for
and we got a situation for the lead. Laura Gerhardt getting ready to be lapped. Matsuda puts the lap on Gerhardt and now has Rashid Craig 5/10 back, so he is right there getting ready to challenge.
Yeah, Matsuda catching at the wrong time there, opening the door for Craig to start applying some more pressure. Tightening up the belts a little bit because we're about to have quite the battle here in the Windy City for this lead, or in the early parts of this race.
So is there a good spot to use push to pass here? I mean, normally you need push to pass in IndyCar. You use them on a lot longer straightaway because the car needs a longer amount of time to unwind and get to its ultimate top speed. Does push to pass help here because of the short straights, or does it, or there's really no difference to it because the straights aren't long enough?
There's two primary passing opportunities that kind of coincide with using push to pass. It's not going to have the effect of, like, say, like Road America, where you have two very long straightaways. But right here at the start finish straight, you can get a little bit, if you get a good run, you can get a little bit of an overlap, and that overlap will be enough, turning right onto here, because you can set up an over-under going into 2. So you kind of got to manufacture the pass there, but it is useful. As well as just after this complex of turns, you got 3, 4, 5, and then you have this straightaway as well, where again, if you get some drive, it's a mere copy of...
Got a limping lapped car there. I'm not sure who that was.
Mm-hmm.
The leaders are a lot of wounded warriors. Going to see a lot of them on these laps here as the leaders try to make their way through.
Yeah, the whole start finish straight. Ooh, as Craig gets a little wild there.
Yeah, he recovers.
1 and 2 and turn 6 are just a mirror image of each other, so you can do the same type passes.
So what are we looking like for fuel stints? Is this looking at an easy two-stopper of 20 and 40 and getting stops done, or is it going to be shorter than that?
Generally, yes. So you have to use both compounds. So they will have to, you might want to make one of the stints longer, just because that tire fall off is pretty noticeable even after 5 or 6 laps.
How long is the stint?
So you're looking at about anywhere between, like I said, 18 to 20 on the low end, to about, you can really fuel save and lift and coast and get about 24.
Okay.
Or 25 even laps, depending if you really save.
So if you do 24 laps, well, if you do 25 laps, that gets you to 50 with the, and then that usually as your last stint on the reds with light tanks.
Yeah, and that would be an interesting call with strategy, but it's almost like,
or put your reds in the middle.
Yeah. But like the time you lose here just kind of lifting and coasting, it is a lot of time on a short lap. On a like 1.9, 110, 111 when you're full bore.
See in chat, NASCAR drivers take note. Yeah, I wonder how much additional changes they're going to make to the facility. There doesn't. I know that this is just in the proof of concept scan, and this is something that they could do and put stuff together. The ability of iRacing. But for a real course, I would imagine that some of these turns need to be opened up and more runoff there. To have those walls immediately there at corner entry of some of these places, pretty dangerous in real life.
I mean, I'm just like looking at the metro section, like going right over the underground there, the subway. It is very scary. Like if you were in any car, whether it's an IndyCar open wheeler, a GT3, or any sort of NASCAR vehicle, you spin off the wrong spot, you are going into the subway station. So they'll definitely have to do something about that for sure. But whether it's just some walls or something like that. But overall, as scary as this place is to drive, it is very, very rewarding when you get it right. It does have a good flow to it. When it's not interrupted by, having your spine be compressed there from some of the bumps, but overall it is a very, very fun course to drive.
So watching the leaders up front, Will Lyon has worked his way up to P6. We got the camera on him. He gets around Charles Sears Tower there.
I'm looking at the telemetry now. We're starting to get to that crossover point of tires here around lap 10, 11, 12, 13. Times have just about equaled out. So it's just a matter of, can these alternate runners at least extend that out to about 17, 18 laps just to be able to go full bore on a set of primaries. It's almost like a live chess match within the chess match of racing right now. It's one of the beauties of coming to a place that we don't run in real life, and we don't normally run in either the fixed or the open series either.
Well, if you're just joining us, this is Race First coverage of Friday's top split of the IndyCar iRacing Series, coming to you from downtown Chicago, where we have completed 14 of 60 scheduled laps. If you're enjoying Race First coverage of tonight's race and would like to monetarily support our commentary team, make sure you donate via our GoFundMe link in the description for your convenience. And so you don't lose track of any action, you can donate right now and still listen to our call of the race. We won't go anywhere, we promise. All you have to do is right-click on the link in the description, open our GoFundMe page in another tab, and make your donation. And when you're done submitting, close your tab, and you'll be done just like that. It's just that easy. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and comment in the chats. You got a favorite? Make sure you shout them out, and we'll put them on camera.
I just want to give a big shout out right now to the number 23 car, to Marsman, who started, I believe, last as well. That beautiful Domino's paint scheme.
The Domino's Hot One.
Yes. But up 13 spots in the top 10 right now. Getting challenged at the moment, but just keeping the nose clean, and that's all you got to do, especially learning a place like this. And great run so far from Marsman.
That livery has made has been driven by so many drivers throughout the course of IndyCar history. Started with Howdy Holmes. A lot of people don't recognize that name, Howdy Holmes, but a long-time participant there in the USAC days. Was on the front row one year at Indianapolis. But after that, we saw Alistair Jr. drive that car for a while. We saw Danny Sullivan drive that car for a while. Raul Boesel drive that car. And the one that probably made it the most famous because he won the 500 with it, Indy 500, Arie Luyendyk won the 9500 in the Domino's Hot One.
So I was holding my breath. I was like, please remember Ari.
Of course.
Because that's what I
Of course. And back in the day, if you liked the slot racing, like when slot cars were a lot bigger back in the day, Tyco, one of the slot cars you could actually buy was the Domino's Hot One. You could actually do slot car racing with that. So I vividly remember that car extremely well as a kid, and he is putting on a great show here in P10th, holding off Matthias Kraus, who admittedly might be a little damaged, but Matthias Kraus definitely a veteran of this series and can get around these places, and he's ooh. And Marsman might have given the wall a little bit of a kiss. Of course, Chicago famous for pizza, but not Domino's style pizza.
No, pizza of a much thicker variety there.
The old pizza pie, yes.
Ooh. Marsman is on it. I think a lot of what you're seeing, too, is these drivers, we have some of the best here right now, are pushing for every single centimeter, every single millimeter here. So sometimes just spectating, it's going to look like they clipped the wall. But if they're damaged, you'll know very, very quickly. Oh, coming around right here. That Shadow Fox and Chad. That 10. That entry to 10 is so scary just because that hump. Oh.
As Kraus going to look to the inside here, getting ready to check the turn. Oh! And Klein Busnick tried to full send it, and it cost him. Burrell might get around Klein Busnick after that one.
It's like Klein Busnick has a little bit of front wing damage to that. Shouldn't be too much of it.
We got a moment. We can go back and take a look at what happened there. So he tried to follow through. Trying to follow through the leader here. We'll watch him pick him up as they're going through the archway in Congressional. Yeah, you see Marsman get a little wide there. Here's a good angle right here. Oh, yes. Tried to send it when it really, there was an opportunity, and I guess that's the thing here, is that the opportunities are few, so maybe you might want to take it. He does get around Marsman, though, but he does have a bit of a dinged up front wing. That will be about a 5-second additional penalty, and I'm not saying it's necessarily a penalty. It's just it's what the time it will take for his crew to replace it when he makes his pit stop here. Fairly soon, actually.
Yep, we are going to be rolling up to the pit window being open here. This time around, it is definitely open for some of those drivers on the softer tires.
Yeah, we're back up to the front. The leaders have encountered lap traffic. It's Lord Gerhardt. Gerhardt moving on over, allowing them on by. Gerhardt now 2 laps down. Just taking it easy.
Yep, Craig has been behind, just lifting a little early, saving a little bit of fuel. I'm wondering if he's gonna try to get make up the time on the pit road there. Maybe 4/10, 5/10 less fuel.
Well, let's ride along with Craig right here. Is coming off of Columbus, up over the Metro Rail, now on the Congressional. Here's that off-camber archway area.
I just grit my teeth every time there.
Back up on Jackson Drive, back up over the Metro Rail. Now on the main straight here, turn 12, South Columbus. Look how much it bumps. It's just boom, 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 all over the place.
I mean, yeah, between that and just coming across that corner, that is also off camber slightly too, just from the way that the road is designed.
Bilbo, now on Lakeshore Drive, right in front of you, is, I believe that's the museum, Science and Industry. Could be wrong. I'm trying to get my landmarks straight. It's been a while since I've been down there. But it's down there on Lake Michigan, and it's a very touristy area. You get to go to the Shed Museum. They have an outdoor amphitheater that used to be where Meigs Field is. If anyone knows about, if you played Flight Simulator in well, when Flight Simulator first came out, that was the airfield you took off from. Meigs Field. Yeah, he's just kind of coasting, feathering it. Got to watch those corner apexes. They'll reach out and grab you. Giving plenty of room, and he is going to pit. We'll watch him hit pit road. So he is going to go 20-20-20, it looks like, maybe. We'll see.
Got to get the undercut, get a little bit of fresh tires, lay down some solid laps, as well as, like we said too, going to spend a couple tenths of a second less on pit lane, just taking on a little less fuel. Onto the primary tires, so definitely gonna go a little longer here. You know, from the way that the lap times were going, if he can extend this out to only have to do 17-18 laps on that last stint, I think the Reds might be viable to do the last stint with the track cooling down.
He's back underway. He is on the primes.
So now it's on Matsuda to respond here. I wouldn't be surprised. I would be very surprised if Matsuda chooses to stay out. And yep, he's coming in.
Locks him up there. Yep.
He don't need those tires anymore. They're fine.
That's true. That is very true.
And good park there. Puts on the primes as well, and it's gonna be underway again.
On the way, yes. Mistakenly said at this portion of the racetrack they are going north. They are not going north in this portion of the racetrack. Actually headed east. If you look at the layout of the track of where it is on downtown Chicago, it is more of an east-west track than a standard north-south track.
Yeah, they actually, a couple people in chat talking, the Next Gen's just ran their All-Star race on iRacing here, so if it was difficult for them, just imagine what the real-life 3,400-pound cars are going to be like on here.
I imagine when they eventually do lay it out for real, I mean, there's got to be, the drivers are going to insist on more runoff area. I'm just going to have to guess. I mean, they just simply can't here. Watch this turn. They miss this turn and then go into that barrier right there. No. I would imagine they would insist on more runoff area. That's pretty dangerous. And then I would hope that iRacing would follow suit and then allow for the redesign, because it would open this place up a little bit more to these guys being able to send it a little bit more into these corners. Mainly because if they miss the corner, they have some runoff area. So it's Principal Dan is your leader now. We'll get an eye on him. He is lap 23 of his stint.
It's really interesting. The undercut. Granted, it was only a lap's worth, but no time gained for Craig there. Matsuda still has the net lead right now.
Yeah, that actually was the. Okay, we have Principal Dan and Will Lyon on pit road. That was the Field Museum that we were looking at there. Just making sure I'm calling it out right. Should definitely go there.
Ooh. Oh.
I think we heard a collision of somewhere.
That was
Sears. I think Sears might have had an issue because he is on pit road missing his front wing. We have a whole bunch of people pitting here. Matsuda is back to being the leader. Rashid Craig right next to him. Will Lyon pops out third with Principal Dan right with him. So staying on the racetrack actually pays off in this case. What's that again?
I said interesting. I'm shocked that the undercut is not powerful here.
So let's give you, we're still going through pit stops right now. And a number of cars are lapped down. We'll give you an update here as we're about a third of the way through, excuse me. Heio Matsuda is your leader. He's led pretty much all day long, with the exception of when the pit stops overlapped. He is your leader there. Started from the pole. Rashid Craig, P2, was involved in yesterday's race, so has a little bit of extra experience here. Will Lyon, P3. Lyon is 15 seconds back from this battle for the lead. Principal Dan. Oh, Principal Dan into the wall. Done.
Oh.
And so that is right at turn one. So Principal Dan done. That's going to allow Kevin Burrell to pick up the position. And slow and steady wins the race, or in this place gets you a top 5. Kevin Burrell up to P4, just hitting his marks.
Yeah, that is that's terrible to see, but one dropped wheel here, you're done. We were talking a couple months ago when this happened, when this got announced, that this is going to be more difficult than Long Beach, more difficult than Sebring, and it is sure showing its teeth right now here as we get to the middle of the race.
I think Beta Fear is done. Currently showing him extended in the pits with damage. Chris Bauman currently showing under an extended pit stops right now. Marsman in pit road. It looks like he has damage. He is getting it worked on as well. Laura Gerhardt still making progress. In the 5th, and just noses into the wall, so we just jinxed Laura there. This is off in the corner number 6 area, and they just nosed it and lost their front wing. See how they're going to be able to go. Here come the leaders, trying to get turned around, and they might be able to hit pit road and get that replaced. Wow! Now here comes the attrition. And also, here is our leader experiencing lap traffic. Believe that is that Rafa? Yeah, that is Rafa. Rafa making a turn on the pit road for a scheduled stop, it looks like. So
it's
now,
amazing.
Go ahead,
Gary.
Go right ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say it's just amazing how quickly the race just turned there. Those cold tires that I think everybody was just getting on. Yeah, they were firing up. You get that confidence as they're getting warmed up, but just pushing a little too hard. Again, it's about car control and management, and unfortunately, just these crazy streets here in Chicago just took out a bulk of the field from contention, it looks like.
It looks like we have 11 cars out of the 23 remaining right now, and we're coming up to halfway here, so we still have another half of the race to go. So thanks for joining us. We told you wouldn't want to miss it, and then we weren't lying. Thanks for everybody that's joined us. Make sure to give these guys, show appreciation to these guys for their effort, and hit that thumbs up for them, because this is, I'm sure, when they're done with this race, I bet you most of them are going to be like going to go take a shower because they're drenched in sweat, go get themselves a nice cold drink, or probably swear off the Chicago street course never again.
Oh my goodness. So I just went back through time. Not really. I'm not that cool. But I went back through the replay just to see what happened to Beta Fuhrer. He locked up after seeing another car have an incident in front of him, and just dumped it right into that car and broke his front suspension. Day done. I'm gutted. He was having a great run after making a couple appearances here.
Like part of a wing sitting there in turn 6, so someone is missing a wing. Not sure who it is. We're watching Will Lyon this time. He's got all of his parts. Kevin Burrell, P4, all of his parts. Porcelli going through turn 1 there, all of his parts as well. Matthias Kraus was involved there as that injured car. Not sure who that is. We'll have to take a look. It might be James Andrew. That is James Andrew. Matthias Kraus, who was involved in that early big one over on Congressional, he is now worked his way up to P6. And Julian Klein-Buznik is right there with him. Julian had a little bit of wing damage when he tried to full send it in on Marsman there for turn 12. Got his stop, got it taken care of, so he is 100% at the moment. Cesar Cabral very steadily worked his way up to 8th. James Andrew, as we mentioned, on pit road, getting damage taken care of there for the number 21. Rafa is now P10, and Gerhardt, the last car currently running, P11, 3 laps down to the leader.
Back up early on. That's one of those situations where I wish there was some way to have live officiating. I know it's not possible. An official series like this, just because of the amount of overhead needed, you would need to have more staff, etc. But just to neutralize the field at that point and be able to get everybody circled around and through safely, rather than trying to maximize gaining some positions because everybody was going slow. That's one of those situations where that would help so much. But yeah, anybody right now, you can get caught out from a car just being turned around at the apex of a corner and you're not getting a call from your spotter, or just having like Beta Fuhrer had, just seeing a car having an incident in front of you and just having that moment of concentration get broken, and you lock up and bin it yourself. That anybody that's on the track right now has a chance to win it. Right. Realistically, anybody on the lead lap really does.
Yeah, absolutely. And you were talking about, and everybody on the lead lap, there's 7 cars now, as Cesar Cabral is the first car a lap down. Yeah, you were saying that anybody has a shot, provided you're running. I mean, what's the old saying? In order to finish first you must finish?
Correct. That is 120% correct there, Gary.
And what was the strength of field? It was 3.2K?
It was 3455.
3.4.
So 3,500.
So, yeah, almost a 3,500 strength of field, which is a pretty big number. And half the field, I mean, this just tells you how challenging this combo really is, this car and this track. And these guys, with all their skill, still are having... and I don't want anyone watching this going, there's only, there's only 11 cars running, big deal. I mean, these are the best of the best. This is a very, very hard course, very challenging course, and I would challenge the people to kind of pshaw this, to get out there and try it themselves and do better.
It's provided excitement so far, and we're not done yet. We're still only halfway through the race, so
yeah,
we've got, just to kind of reset everything too, we've got Matsuda and Craig still together.
Yeah, we're watching them right now. And also, for that matter, when you're like only 11 cars finishing, is that a good or a bad? There's been, I can't tell you any number of IndyCar races in history that have finished with less than 10 cars at the finish. A number of Indy 500s have been that way. I specifically remember the 86 Michigan 500 was that way. To see a small field of cars finishing a race in IndyCar history is actually something not normal, but not unseen or unheard of.
It is kind of refreshing too to see. This is very much a different kind of race, because you're not just racing the other drivers, you're racing the track.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
The track is its own difficulty. It's not some wide open grade 1 FIA circuit. It's not even a place like, speaking of F1, like Baku, that has, it has close walls, but there's still runoff, there's safety. Some of the chicanes you can go through. No, these corners are 90 degrees with a concrete wall inside. So a testament to everybody that's still currently running right now. But it's a very old school almost feel here. Ooh. With having the car survive.
And Will Lyon just very diligently hitting his marks, reeling in the top 2. He is now down to 4 seconds to the top 2 right now, as he is for a second there, and you just saw with our director shot in the same picture on the long shot. So Will Lyon, I called him Will Power last week, so I call him Will Power Lyon. He is on his way to try to catch these top 2 and maybe make a challenge for one of the higher steps to the podium. We'll see.
We're gonna be on for a fight here coming up, because Craig and Matsuda are dogfighting like mad through Congressional Drive right now. The Lion's gonna get at least another second and a half on them by the end of this run. Actually, he's already down to 2.3 seconds to the back to the gearbox of Craig, so it'll be interesting to see what they are at the line coming across traffic. But Lyon is on the hunt. He is ready. He wants to come from back to front.
All right, yeah, that time by Matsuda 1:13.3, Rashid Craig 1:13.1, Will Lyon a 1:11.2. And I'm sure he's communicating with his teammate. That is his teammate in P2. We have lap traffic there. I believe that's Rafa once again. They're going to bypass him. Fortunately, Rafa is going to be in a position where he might hold up Will Lyon a little bit. Nope, moves over, and that's of the few runoff area that it is that this track has. It allows Will Lyon to go through, and they're side by side going now back on the Bilbo Street, getting ready to make the corner turn on the Congressional. Holding your breath, clenching your cheeks. Oh, Will Lyon says, you know what, I'm going to set it in there.
Yeah, Craig kind of forced Matsuda a little wide. Matsuda got a little understeer, had to kind of shift his wheel a little over, and that opened the teammate to come through. So we have an IAR12 now. Well, wait a minute, hold on.
Well, taking a peek, getting ready to take a look at 12, back on the main straight. Rashid starting to pull away a little bit. Will making a weave, gonna maybe send it into 1. Nope, not close enough.
They really want to get that 1-2 there. It was set up for him perfectly, and it just couldn't get sealed.
We got pit stops coming up for folks here in the next 5 laps or so. Here comes Will. He is on push to pass. You do not see Will use push to pass very often unless it's the last stint of the race. And he used it right there through Lakeshore Drive onto Roosevelt, and now has pulled off the position. And IAR 1-2 here in the top split. I'm sure Thomas Christensen in chat there is going to be very happy. But still a long way to go. We don't want to jinx it.
Yeah, now things are settling down for the next couple moments, but yeah, we've got pit stops coming up here in about 5 laps or so, potentially. And they're going to be on different compounds potentially as well. They might be on the same. It's going to be anybody's guess. They might, even as teammates, they might split strategy.
Sure,
Craig might
yeah. Cover your bases. Cover your bases.
Mm-hmm. Do what Ferrari cannot do, and actually do the tire strategy correctly here. But if I were making the call for IAR right now, you have Craig 1, Lyon 2. Craig's on those harder tires. Have Craig go long. Have him extend the lead. We've seen how powerful the overcut is. Maybe even be able to take a couple laps less of fuel, have a lighter tank. And then go on to those softs, because they seem like they're going to be lasting, and the track temperature just again keeps falling. So it'll be interesting to see if they go on the same tire, just to kind of consolidate the team standings here, because they both are challenging. But I know Lyon wants this win. Lyon's been hungry for a good performance, especially at a newer place like this, to be the first winner here. That'd be something special for him.
He was on a much like you a couple weeks. We got Masuda in the pit road. Much like you a couple weeks ago, that you were on one of the iRacing highlight videos where you went from 5th to 1st at Michigan in order to win that race there in the last lap. Will Lyon, there was a good battle between him and Beta Fuhrer at Le Mans, and I think it's a league race. I'm not sure which league it was, but they showed those two swapping the league back and forth there at Le Mans. So he made the highlight video. So a lot of these guys that you see every week here in the IIS and other leagues that we cover here on Raceverse showing up in those videos. Check them out on the iRacing page on Facebook. Before we do get to these pit stops, would like to point out YouTube analytics now are telling us that more of you are not subscribers that watch. We've gone from half of you to now 54.9% or 3% of you are not subscribers. So hey, please, let's change that right now. Help us on our drive to 1,000 subscribers. If you enjoy Raceverse coverage of the IndyCar iRacing Series and you respect the stream, please do us a solid. The best thing you can do for us is make sure to support us by subscribing. We have less than 100 and out to 10 subscribers to go to get to that magical 1,000 mark. So help us by hitting that subscribe button right now. We absolutely cannot get there without you, and while you're at it, don't forget to smash like. We really like that, and click the bell so you don't miss out on future Raceverse iRacing broadcasts. We will be back doing our next iRacing, our IndyCar iRacing Series race here in 2 weeks at Gateway. It will be Nick and Matt in the booth on that one.
Gateway is very, very exciting, very technical oval, 2 completely different ends of the track. One of my personal favorites too. It's just a blast.
I like to say I hate the place, and I have 2 career wins there. So I hate the place, but I have 2 career wins there. So
got Burrell in the pits now. Kevin Burrell, the number 4 car, hitting his marks as Porcelli goes by. What should be the final scheduled stop of the day for him.
Yeah, watching the leaders right here, see if they make that turn. I think Will does. Will makes the turn. He's going to go early.
All right, so let's see what kind of tires are going to go on him.
Cesar Cabral in the pits. Looks like he is done for the day. So now we have just 10 cars running. Laura Gerhard has themselves up to P10 now just by keeping it off the wall.
All right, Lyon is on red, so this might be a good time for the undercut to actually work here.
He's back under. Oh, back underway. Watch those tires. This is where all the incidents happened last time.
Let's make sure, yes, keep it steady there, boss. You gotta be careful.
Matsuda back on pit road. Did we have a speeding penalty? Yes, it has to be a speeding penalty. 15 seconds in the box. So this is a penalty for speeding on pit road for our pole sitter and early leader, Heyo Matsuda. It's going to probably mean his chance for a win is over, but by nature of attrition, he is going to get himself a top 10 more than likely. But that is going to be very costly. So our leader now, Rashid Craig, on pit road as he is working his way down to his spot. Look at all the damage on pit road. He hits his spot. Very tiny stalls here at Chicago.
That weight.
Here comes Will Lyon. Craig's down and away. Here comes Will Lyon. Craig's out in front. Will Lyon's right with him. They're going to take a look into corner number 2. Will's got a chance here. He knows that these tires are pretty wicked at this point. He's going to ride right in the slipstreams. We're going to take a look through. Here's 3 and the 4 and the 5. Take a look on the outside. Oh, and Will Lyon into the wall. An unforced error.
Oh, no, the teammates. Oh, that
violates rule number 1 of teammate racing. And I really don't think Rashid had anything to do with it. I think Will sent it in there and realized at the end he ran out of room.
I don't think Craig was expecting that too. Craig had a little bit of understeer, but was running the normal speed, wasn't trying to take an inside line. I don't think he was expecting Will to be there. Oh, that's tragic though.
And that is, yeah, I don't think there was anything malicious there, but that's going to, Porcelli is quickly catching up here, as you would guess. And he will probably catch him here back on Columbus.
My jaw is unhinged. It is dropped to the floor.
Or Jackson, excuse me. Yeah, I'm gutted for him too. I absolutely am gutted for him. We've had one of those weeks where we've had these drivers making great drives, and one thing or another, just something happens, and you're just gutted for them because they're giving maximum effort.
I mean, we've seen side-by-side racing there. We've seen side-by-side racing like 4 laps in a row through that section even. You can do it. But I don't know if maybe there was miscommunication. Will maybe went a little too hot. And then also, Rashad is also pushing very hard. Might have hit a little bump and had a little bit of understeer.
See, I don't know. I mean, that's where maybe where a team manager gets on the radio or something and says, hey, I know you want to pass them, but, don't be... I don't want to say dumb about it. I don't think he really did anything wrong, to be honest. I think he stuck it in there and then realized... And maybe we can go back here in a couple laps and check it out. We got time. Let's go back. It's going to take a second because we've been watching here under green. But I don't think he sent it in there and then realized, oh, I'm out of room. So let's go back. I don't think anything stupid happened here at all. I really, really don't. So let's get on the roll bar here of Will Lyon and let's pick it up. There on Lakeshore Drive. He's got the run. He opts for the outside. And there was maybe a little contact. Let's go back and let's look from Rashid's point of view. And we'll go on the roll bar as well. And we'll go back a little bit further. Okay, here we go. He's on the button, actually. See that through the green on his pie readout there. It's just by nature of that corner. It's who's ever on the outside is, I don't know.
I mean, it's just a racing incident more than anything. There was a slight bit of contact, but it looked more so like it was just net code. It's no fault on anybody. It's just one of those racing deals, and an unfortunate consequence though for Lyon though, who is definitely in a good spot to get some primo points at the moment here.
I do a lot of spotting, and one of the things I would have said to the person that I was spotting, if that was them, is you're with your teammate, be careful. Well, now we are into the second half of this race. Things have changed drastically. The leader now is Rashid Craig in the other IAR car. He doesn't look to be damaged. He has himself a 24-second lead over Porcelli. David Porcelli up 15 spots. And there he is going through the congressional portion of the course right now. Klein Busnick, who we saw last getting his left or right front wing ding there on the apex of corner number 12, trying to make a pass there, trying to follow through a car on another car. He's got that fixed, and he is now up to third. Matthias Kraus, we saw him involved in that cluster that happened fairly early on the arch portion of the arch straightaway portion of Congressional, where he got so there was contact for sure. He has now worked his way up to fourth. Kevin Burrell, steady as she goes, P5.
Burrell has made his final stop, but Porcelli, Kleinbusnick, and Kraus all still have to make their last stop.
And they're in that window right now. They're in that 20-lap window or so.
Mm-hmm.
Let's pick up with Burrell. Continue to follow him.
Burrell's gonna have to go a little long. Probably not gonna have a ton of fuel saving to do, but definitely is gonna have to watch. So the pit delta here is roughly about 22 to 27 seconds, depending on how much fuel, if you take tires, etc. The gap, he's going to come out ahead of this group probably, but is he going to be able to hold on with those old primary tires? The only person that has to take, that we know is going to take the softer tires, is going to be Porcelli.
Yeah.
So he's going to be on it with a light tank. So he's going to be on the move. And the others will probably take them as well. So it's just going to be a matter of can he hold off?
It also looks like Kevin is driving very deliberate. He's given himself a lot of room on the corner exit to the wall. Watch this. Lots of room there. Even looks like he's backed up his braking zone just a little bit. You hear him kind of coasting through, accelerating well on exit there. I think he knows at this point you got 14 laps to go. The importance of just getting to the finish might be what supersedes all. See right there on the corner of 11, giving himself a lot of room.
Yeah, he's been knocking on the door for a good finish for what feels like months now. And I know he's had some strong performances, a couple top 10s, but he had a potential podium taken away from him just from an incident late in the race. I can't remember what race it was, but it was about 2 months ago. It had a very strong performance. So yeah, just trying to bring it home, it looks like. If Kleinbusnick and Porcelli get tangled up, he's right in there as well too. So I believe Will is going to be wanting to join us for an interview in just a second.
Oh, he wants to come on up, huh?
Yeah, he's waiting. If we want to bring him on up here while we got a lull in the action, he is in here.
All right. Well, we'll bringing him on up, Will Lyon. We don't do this too often, but not much action going on the racetrack at the moment, so we'll bring him on up here. He can stick around for as long as he wants. I guess what happened? What your point of view?
Yeah, no, I just want to apologise to everyone at Indy Alliance. It was a really dumb, low percentage move that didn't need to be done. You know, I was obviously on warm tyres, and the Reds are absolute death on the outlap, and I mean I nearly binned it myself when I was coming out.
Yeah, we saw that. Yep.
Yeah, so you know, I knew what Rashad would be going through, and so I lost a lot of time on the pits, and I was frustrated. I thought I could have got the undercut here, but I didn't make it work. Got him to push the pass, and I thought he's gonna block the inside, so I was trying to go around the outside, and of course with him on cold tyres, you know, it was always going to be very risky. So no, that was dumb. Threw away a lot of points there. So apologies to all the team, and apologies for frightening Rashad as well. He did nothing wrong. It was just a dumb move by me. So that was what I wanted to say. Really, it was just it was a real shame because I absolutely toasted qualifying. I reset on the first lap and then I spun on the second, so I had to do I started P21 or something, and
yeah,
Rashad was getting held up.
You worked your way up rather quickly.
Yeah.
So while we got you here, I mean, we had that. There was that bit of a big accident in the congressional that arch straightaway, as I call it. But there was kind of a blocked racetrack, or at least tight racetrack there. What was that like for you when you came up on that?
It was pretty scary, but I saw a gap and I went for it. You know, there was carnage everywhere. I slowed down and I went for a gap, and I kind of feel like I may have taken the line away from Porcelli. I'm not sure. I need to go back and watch it again, but I think he was probably going to go left, and I just took that spot from him, and he may have got damaged. I'm not sure, but it was kind of crazy. And you know, I was saying to Rashad, you know, I could be gone very quick here. I might be leaving the Discord very shortly. So, but we survived, and yeah, I mean, what a story that would have been if I could come back from there and got P2 and brought home a 1-2 for Indy Alliance. So that's why I'm just so gutted that I did that. And you know, you live and learn.
Yeah, we're gutted there for you. We knew that it kind of ran out of room there. We're like, uh-oh, and then it got tight, and then, yeah. Are you going to try to run another split to kind of audit the points out, or you've had enough of the Chicago street circuit?
Well, to be honest, I've not done enough of it. I learnt the track, and then I picked a Detroit setup, I tweaked the gearing, and then I just thought, that'll do. And I never really, because Indy Open wasn't here this week, I normally like practicing in Indy Open, but so I didn't really do a hell of a lot of practice. But I'm away tomorrow. I'll maybe try and jump in on the Sunday split from around, but this was my only real opportunity, I think, to run. So we'll see. I'll try and sneak in on Sunday if I can.
All right. Well, he hasn't had his fill yet, which means the rage quit hasn't happened yet.
Not quite, lads. But thanks for bringing me on. And,
no problem. No problem. We will see you. We'll talk to you before, I'm sure, but we will see you next here in about 2 weeks at Gateway.
Good point. See you then, lads. Cheers.
See ya.
Cheers.
All right. Well, yeah, I kind of said it was. I bit my tongue. That was a bit of a stupid move, and I'm like, no, you know, he's a much better driver than me. He could make his own decision, and he's like, yeah, it was a bit of a dumb move. So he goes ahead and acknowledges it here, but. We're watching David Porcelli. Doesn't seem to be damaged from what he was talking about, incident in that Congressional Boulevard archway straightaway portion. But Porcelli just plugging along, and he's about 48 seconds or so, I think, behind Burrell. So Burrell...
We must have just missed. Kleinbusnik must have just sent it into a barrier. His day is done.
Oh yeah, maybe we did. Yeah, actually, no. Burrell is about 3 seconds in front of Porcelli at the moment. I was watching gap, not interval. But let's get that interval. There it is. Porcelli 2 seconds, 2.4 behind Burrell. Now, how much of and you're right, Klein Busnick was right there with, and maybe you can go back and look on one of the replays on your machine there, see if your director can cue that up and see what happened. But right now we're gonna have a brewing battle for P2 here in the next couple of laps as Porcelli now runs down Burrell with 10 laps to go.
Yep. As I was thinking, I didn't want to say it, but yeah, Klein Busnick was trying to stay close, went on to the arch right on Congressional, and just wiped it. Tried to overcorrect and just slammed the suspension right to the wall. Had his day done. Julian having a great run, really strong showing. Was definitely making Porcelli honest there, but yeah, unfortunately that is terminal damage for the 9 car.
So that's going to be that's going to reduce the field to just 8 after this. And Laura Gerhardt just again hanging on, hitting the marks, completing laps. 5 laps off the pace, currently P9. Heyo Matsuda, our pole sitter, unfortunately, had a speeding penalty, and it looks like he had some additional issues going on because he had a long pit stop as well. He is 4 laps off the pace in 8th. James Andrew, who we saw at one point missing the front of his car, 4 laps off the pace, but still running in 7th. Fabrizio Raffa, probably the best name in the entire lineup right here. He is 3 laps down in 6th. He will, in about a lap, start going up. He will get himself a top 5 if he completes this race because he will pass Klein Busnick, who is done in the pits. Who is currently in P5. Matthias Kraus, we saw that he had an issue earlier in that cluster there early on. He has worked his way up to P4. He is quite a ways behind Porcelli. I don't know if he's going to catch these two at all here in the time remaining, but he has himself a very solid top 5 at the moment. There is Porcelli. We are watching him in P3 run down Kevin Burrell in P2. This is going to turn into a battle here soon. I don't think either one of them really want to push the issue too much. I mean, it's been right around the 2-second mark for much the last couple of laps.
Yeah, I know Dave's pushing a little hard there, but I think they're both in that moment of clarity of like, wow, we've survived.
I don't want to race no more. I don't want to race no more. I just want to finish.
Yeah. That being said, Porcelli did take 3/10.
Yeah, he did.
So he is still pushing, and there are enough laps for them to catch now.
Yeah, plenty of laps. And we know that he has a good setup underneath him at Satellite Racing team. His teammate, Crane, won the only race they had yesterday. So we know that when it comes to open setups, that team is pretty well blessed.
Yeah. Shout out to Adam, who's actually in the chat right now.
Hey, Adam.
Good to see you hanging out. Sorry you can't make it, but I'm kind of jealous that you get to work on a real life track. So, it's good to see you. Thanks for the support as always.
We got it looks like we got Dakota the Maid in there with Sunset Arctic Games. Got Lusher's in there. How you doing, Lusher? So thanks to Dan Morera. Thanks for joining us, guys. Thomas Christensen again. Christensen dropping the F in chat right about the time where his 2 cars collided in his team.
Hit the like button. Thanks for hanging out. Hit the like, subscribe, of course, as always. Usual spiel as we always give, but we always are thankful for your support.
Some of you should already be subscribed. Looking at you, Dakota the Maid. You should have hit the like button already too, man. You know the real.
Checking back here. We are almost 1 second now with the Burrell-Porcelli battle.
Yeah, we are keeping... this is the battle to watch on the racetrack. We are watching it right here. We'll get you some other aerial shots of this course.
is going to be a beautiful course when they run it in real life, though. I'm very impressed just from even the virtual scenes of it with a rough scan.
This whole area down here, now with the exception of, I think there's going to be issues parking. Unless they open up the parking area that's over there where the amphitheater is and everything. Really nice amphitheater over there. Saw Sammy Hagar in a concert over there. Of course, the Museum of Science and Industry. Really cool U-boat exhibit over there. It's probably the second, if you've never been to the Smithsonian, in terms of quality museum, it's probably second best to the Smithsonian, that museum there. The Shed Aquarium is awesome. Go to the Shed Aquarium. You got to do that. So much to see, so much to do downtown. Gotta have a Chicago style pizza. Go to Portello's. Got a car backwards on Congressional there. I'm not sure who that was. That might have been Rafa. Gotta have when you're there downtown Chicago. Gotta have a Chicago style hot dog. And if you don't know what a Chicago style hot dog is, I mean it's extremely unhealthy for you, which we've learned about hot dogs here on this program. But man, they're really good and they're one of a kind. And all types of Polish sausage, everything there downtown Chicago. If you like to eat, that's why they have a big festival every year called the Taste of Chicago, right down in this very area.
Just noticing a flip back to Rashad there. Rashad is about to lap Matthias Kraus. You're about to have only 3 cars on the lead lap by the end of this, potentially. It's a very dominant performance from Rashad. That survival, that control, that longevity as well too. I know the unfortunate incident with his teammate, but still, that's quite the pace to have, especially with a contender like Kraus getting lapped by the end of this too. So, hats off to Rashad there. The gap for Burrell and Porcelli has stabilized about a second. Porcelli's doing a little bit of weave-in, trying to keep the pressure on, but the time is starting to run out a little bit there. Porcelli did get a lot of time off of that last corner onto the front straight.
Yeah,
Porcelli has 9 push-to passes. Burrell only has 2, so not a lot of effectiveness, but we've seen how much it can help close if you get a good run. We're gonna have a lot to talk about after this race, though. That's a lot of talking points going forward here.
Ooh. Porcelli almost banged the wall on corner exit there, coming on the Congressional.
I think Porcelli's starting to smell blood in the water here. Burrell's tires, yeah, they're the harder compound, but they're 9 years older. It's a lot of time.
9 years.
9 laps older. Wow.
They might as well be 9 years.
Yeah, on a surface like this, it's gonna feel like 9 years older.
We will watch. We'll put the camera on Craig here when we get to the last lap, but we want to watch this battle on the race course at the moment. Richard Crozier looks like he managed to work his way up to, I'm not sure why it did that. It has him now in 11th and Dennis Fritz in 10th. I don't think that is absolutely correct. I don't know what your timing and scoring says.
No, that is not correct.
Yeah. I might have you read the final results because I think my overlay kind of went nuts.
Ooh, Burrell understeered really, really bad out of 10.
And here comes Porcelli. 2 to go. He's in a position to maybe take a look here on one of these passing zones, taking a wide corner exit, trying to get that momentum built up. This is where you want to do it here on Lakeshore Drive.
Yeah, Kevin's on the button right now to defend. Porcelli is not.
He might be thinking that he might be able to goad him into a mistake at this point.
Yeah.
And then we have, that is Rafa with no front wing with the leaders coming up on him, or with P2 and P3 coming up on him. So this is going to be hairy. Okay, they let him by. They go over the railroad overpass. We are on the final lap.
Craig is just rounding 4 and 5 right now. Which is one car of traffic to get by real quick.
That is Matthias Kraus. I don't think he's going to get to him at this point. I think you should just clutch and coast. Give yourself a lot of room to the wall. Yeah, he's giving himself a lot of room to the wall here. Very deliberate. Oh, Porcelli side by side with... And Burrell, I think, really just conceded and allowed him on through, which is probably a wise call. But a good job by Porcelli to run him down. Well,
and Craig, there we go.
I Will Survive. That's probably the song that we're going to sing. That will be the theme of this race. But Rashid Craig survives, literally, to win here at the Chicago Road Course. Whether we will see this on a future schedule of open or fixed remains to be seen, because of the nature of the the Nashville race on the schedule for the NTT IndyCar Series. We might see this again next year, so practice up, boys. Hopefully they work on it a little bit more and give you a little bit more wider areas and runoff area there. But your winner, and he's got some well-earned donuts, Rashid Craig. And he's going to kill some cones while he's at it.
Yeah, Porcelli getting by Burrell there on that last lap was a great move. Yeah, Burrell kind of conceded that. That was... Oh, wow. Just listening to commentary real quick. Porcelli accidentally short-filled.
Oh,
he had to save about probably the first half of that stint.
But he was still running them down. I mean, I was telling you that Burrell looked like he was driving pretty deliberate, and to be honest, I don't blame him for doing that. And, you know, are you going to push the limit and wreck yourself and take away a good finish, or are you going to salvage a good finish just by hitting your marks and being a smart driver? Well, let's take a look at the final results. I don't think these are absolutely correct. But no, I think they are here. They shook out here. Rashid Craig's your winner. David Porcelli, P2. I believe that might be Porcelli's either tied for best or best finish here on the top split coverage. Burrell, P3, a good finish for him. Kraus, P4. Matsuda recovers to a top 5. James Andrew, a rough day, but manages to finish 6th. Rafa, same thing, 7th. Gerhardt survives to 8th. We have Klein Busnick in 10th. Will Lyon in 11th. I hope we're getting that right. Cesar Cabral, Dan Piazza, Chris Bauman, Marsman, and Beta Fuhrer rounding out the top, I think at 17, 15. The reason why the numbers are changed up is the overlay decided to go crazy on me. Gomes, Sears, Brunton, Noventa, Hausler, Crozier, Coveney, and Fritz run out the remainder of the 23 car field there. And we do have Porcelli in chat here. And let's go ahead and bring him on up. Hey, Dave, got you in the booth. Hey, it was a drive to survive. You kind of just stepped in there, slowly ran down Burrell, managed to get by, get the second step on the podium. Tell us about your race. Was it as hectic as it looked for you?
Oh my goodness. What a race. I really I was not expecting that at all. I had just built a set off of my Detroit set at like 12:30 and ran for 30 minutes and was like, you know what, like I'll get in, I'll run, I'll have a nice Friday drive, I'll take it easy and maybe I can score a top 10. Here I am in the interview booth with you guys. So something crazy had to happen. And yeah, I was just glad to survive it. I took too little gas there at my final pit stop trying to jump. And it was just, I was running in map 5 that entire final stint while I was running down Kevin and lifting and coasting, and finished with like 0.08 gallons left. So I had 0.03.
0.08. Wow.
Yeah, what a race. What a race. And I'm just so happy that I can be chatting with you guys here right now. Like, I love these long races, man. They can go any way.
Yeah, they Dave, that was pretty crazy there. The incident lap 1, did you get any perspective on it being that far back in the field? Did it go through that landmine filled archway?
Yeah, I actually, I wish I could give you some insight, but I just showed up to a parking lot and was really grateful that I didn't lose any more time, you know, so managed to make it through. And someone decided to, I think it was Will Lyon, he passed me under yellow through the parking lot, which was crazy. I just decided to let him have it. Yeah, so if that's the decision-making that was happening up front, then I'm not surprised to see that there are so many different incidents going on. It's such a crazy track, and you really got to respect the bumps like Sebring.
Yeah, that is for sure. Do you think this configuration as is really a good combination for these cars, or do you think iRacing needs to make a few more changes to it to make them a little bit more accommodating to the IndyCar?
Well, it's tricky for passing, that's for sure. The only way you're really gonna be moving up the field, I would say, is through strategy or tire difference. That being said, I really like this street circuit. I'm a big fan of Detroit. I like Long Beach, but it's not for this car. I think this is, of the street circuits we run, I think I had the most enjoyable time here. So I'm quite fond of it.
Okay, wow. Well, because we figure after today, a lot of people are like, no, that's okay, we're done.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to hear that I hold an unpopular opinion.
Well, man, I mean, you drove a consistent, clean race. You might have made a mistake there, just getting a little too less fuel, but still managed. I think Kevin was really driving very deliberately because he knew he had I'm just going to put myself in his shoes. I think he knew he had a step on the podium. And I'm sure he would wanted that P2 step that you took from him on the last lap, but I think the P3 step is better than no step at all. And I think he was driving very deliberately because we were watching some of the way that he would exit the corners and leave a lot of room on corner exit between his car and the wall. So you, with your skill set, being able to drive fast and still save fuel, and him driving conservatively and safely, allowed you to kind of close the gap there and get the position. But I think you guys, when you did eventually got a chance to raced each other very well and very cleanly, because it's a very hard thing to do on this course when you get side by side with somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. Hats off to Kevin. He yielded the position. And we had a little chat about it afterwards. I wanted him to be aware that, like, we drive against each other quite a lot, so he's familiar with my car positioning and my braking. It was different this time because I'm on map 5 and I'm lifting and coasting. So I just wrote to him to let him know, like, hey, sorry for the weird sort of pass attempt there. I had to make it happen in the brake zone. But yeah, hats off to Kevin. He really kept it clean there, and you're absolutely right. He was keeping it conservative. He could have given me a much harder time when we were side by side, but he decided it was best for two Team Watson Racing setups to come home clean, and I commend him for that.
Well, there you go. And as they say, to finish first you must finish, and that's part of the battle. So, Nick, do you have any other questions for him before we let him go and have some shout outs?
No, I think we've pretty much hit everything that I had in mind. Just great run, great composure, Dave. That was a phenomenal run there from back from 17th, I believe.
Yeah, thanks, Nick. I'm actually not sure what my grid position was, but not something I'm trying to repeat anyway.
Started 17th, finished second, plus 15 on the day. So very workmanlike. Yeah, very workmanlike. Hey, man, you earned it, and it sounds like that you're pretty excited about this finish, and I don't blame you. So go ahead and take the time, whatever you need, to shout out to friends, family, sponsors, teammates, you name it, because you earned it.
Will do. Thanks so much, Nick and Gary, for an awesome interview. You guys put on a great broadcast every week, so first shout out goes to you.
Thanks.
Shout out to Satellite Racing, Team Watson Racing. We got a 1-2 in Pro Mazda last night. That was really exciting. Yeah, I'm just having a blast this week. It's really been so much fun. So I hope to see you guys next time we're broadcasting the IndyCar iRacing Series, and I will see you then.
You got it. 2 weeks, and we're at Gateway, so we'll see you then.
Rock and roll, guys. See you next time.
Yeah, rock and roll. All right. Let's bring up Kevin Burrell. Hey, Kevin, we got you here in the booth. Congratulations on the P3. It was looking like it. You were just kind of driving to survive there, and I think you made the right call. You got the last step on the podium. Tell us all about your race.
Oh, man. I mean, that was a bit of a... Hopefully my mic sounds good. But
yeah, you're great. Crystal clear.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, that was a bit of a nightmare race, but, lap one, the way it worked out was like, I'd been working on my setup since the Wednesday race, which went okay. I think I got P4 or P5. P5. I just finished right behind Hayato, and I was like, my pace it's not quite there. So I went in last night and I was like, okay, I gotta find like another half a second a lap, and I did, and I was so excited to come in today, and I was like, oh, all right, I got a 10.3, that's like only 0.1 off of what was the pole on Wednesday, in sort of similar conditions, like, okay, like, it's gonna go okay, right? And then you saw that huge pileup on lap one,
right? Yep.
In the crescent, and I just like my heart dropped out, and I was like, oh, it's just obviously over now. And I just kind of broke as much as I could, tried to not lock up and spin, and I like got through. I took a 4X, and I was like, okay, surely I have crazy damage after this, and no damage call out from the spotter, nothing. Just kept driving, and I'm like, okay, I guess we're fine. If there's anything, it's very minor, whatever it is. We seem to pretty much be fine. And then over the course of that stint, then I started pushing it just a little more, and just kind of felt like, okay, yeah, that's nothing's totally broken. The alignment's not bad. I didn't like lose my downforce or anything. I think we're gonna be okay. And then it was pretty easy to be. I think maybe because the pressure was taken off, because I was in like P10 at that point. The pressure was kind of taken off. I wasn't pushing right at the front of the field or anything, and I just thought, okay, well, as long as I don't really start falling backwards by like the amount of a pit stop from this point, as long as I can not lose much to the people from like P4, P5, P6 backwards. Chances are pretty high that at least one of the, 4 or 5 people up front, they're very likely to wreck throughout this whole race. And it's not even a matter of, like, wrecking from fighting here. That's not the cause of wrecks in general here, I think. It's just, like, the biggest for me was because of the setup or anything. The first lap on cold tires out of the pits at every pit stop is just like...
It looked treacherous.
Yeah, when you get to the crescent section, like that the turn onto the crescent and then all the way through the apex of the crescent and then back onto whatever that road is, it's like 50% throttle max on the outlap, if even, and even then the car wants to still kill you sometimes. It's just like... I could totally see how people were just bidding it all over left and right. And if you actually are trying to pass people, or you're trying to like not lose pace to someone directly behind you out of the stop, I could totally see that too. So I just kept pushing, and I was streaming it, and people were just telling me in chat like, oh, someone died, someone disconnected, Will binned it on cold tires. And I'm like, oh, okay, we're like in 8, 7, 6, after we come out of the pits, we're gonna be like close to a podium, And I was like, oh well, this is as much as I like to get a podium on the broadcast for the first time, which I think this is. I think
this is your first one. Yes.
So
yeah.
I'm like, I'm like, I don't know, not like this, but on the other hand, I think it's fitting. Just literally surviving, somehow staying alive, and as it turns out, once things got going on the primaries, the pace wasn't really too bad, and I was able to just hold on to it. I really didn't want to push too hard. I just tried to take it easy without like dropping like a second a lap or something, because at that point then you really are going to be struggling to not fall backwards. Or maybe not with how few people ended up finishing, but I saw David who was down about 14 seconds on me after like the first stop, and I was like, okay, well if I just kind of hold on to it decently, maybe I can take P2 here, or well, P3 at the time before Will binned it. And I gambled, with just taking it really easy to not lose time to him throughout. I probably should have gone to the alternates. I think the overall pace with how the temperatures were and everything were, I think it would have been better to stay on the alternates in the final stint. But, it was hard to say. I mostly worked on the setup, improving my pace on the primaries. So in the end with the temps, I thought it would have been better, but I guess not. I was also terrified of my engine overheating the whole time, because for some reason I just looked at like lap 10 and my engine temp was at 135C, and I was like, that's interesting. I don't really recall that happening when the temps are this low. That doesn't seem right. And then it crept up to like 137, and I'm like, okay, do we have some kind of crazy engine damage or like? But no, it stayed fine, and yeah, cooled down eventually. So no idea what that was about, but yeah, hey, it was fun, and I hope we never go here again. Or maybe, I don't know. It was enjoyable. It was something different.
Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, no, great drive, Kev. That was impressive to say the least. Again, I said the same thing to Dave. Just composure.
Yes.
Got you all through there. It felt like.
It was just survival.
I'm just curious, real quick, just to touch upon them, and let you do your shout outs and stuff. Just what led you to going short on that middle stint, and then taking the primaries again?
Honestly, well, for me that wasn't short. That was the middle stint was full length at 24 laps.
My apologies. My HUD must have been wrong there.
That for me was that was because I went short on the first for I think it was 12 or 13, and then ran 24 and 23. Okay. And it was just because of the timing with traffic. Although I probably should have stopped on 12 instead of 13. I just misjudged the timing of the cars behind me and the length of the pit. It really sucks because I actually got held up pretty badly at the start of that next stint. Not inappropriately, it just it didn't work out quite right, but yeah, it was good, and yeah, it is what it is, but at this point I'm just happy to have survived the race. And
Yes.
I did not, once I got down to 10th place, you just kind of mentally, well, you shouldn't, especially at a track like this, but mentally I already gave up. I was like, well, it's just obviously over, and that could not have been further from the truth, and I should have been pushing a little bit more, I think, and hey, well, whatever. It's a podium in a 3400 SOF. I'm not going to complain.
Pretty darn good. Man.
Yeah. So yeah, shout outs to, of course, to Team Watson for hooking me up with, it's been good to talk to some people about Indy, and David, of course, he, is a source of a lot of info for IndyCar setups, and big shout outs, huge shout outs to Adam Crane for working, with me on, just helping out in general, making me feel welcome in IndyCar, and, I don't know, being one of the first people to talk to me since I started doing all this stuff. It's been really, obviously it's my first season in IIS, and it's just been really, really fun. I seriously think this is by far the best car in iRacing.
Oh yeah.
Obviously there's other really good cars in iRacing too, but like just the feeling of, the combination of this series with the strategy for the long races in IIS, Indy Open every week, and even the iRacing arcade mode of Indy Fixed. All of it combined. Yeah, I said it.
Listen,
listen,
as a fellow arcade connoisseur, I do appreciate the good fixed race every now and then. It's how,
yeah,
I get it.
and it's enjoyable, and there's just so much to it. There's a lot of strategy. I mean, you can dedicate so much time to it, and it's not just like, okay, I need to have my lap pace, lap after lap, dialed to 1/100th of a second, like it was back in my GT Sport days. It's just so much about trying to survive the races, trying to have a good setup that you feel comfortable with, strategy, courage to make overtakes and so on. It's awesome. And then you've got the whole world of ovals too, which I probably would have never got into without this. So it's really, there's a lot to it, and I love it. So thanks guys, and thanks for the broadcast. It was really fun. It's been fun all season. It's gonna be fun next season and onwards, and so on. So I'll see you around, and have a good one. Cheers.
I don't think us IndyCar fans could ask for a better advertisement for more participation in this league from what we just heard. So we will see you at Gateway. And, man, you have nothing to be ashamed of by getting to third the way you did through attrition, because we've said it before and we'll say it again: to finish first you must finish. And if you don't drive your car and put yourself in a position to get on a podium at all, you're never going to get there. So you did the work. You earned it. You have nothing to be ashamed of. Now go celebrate.
See you later, man. Have a good one.
All right, take care. All right, let's get Rashid Craig up here. Rashid, we had a very excited Kevin Burrell in here, but now it's your turn, man. Wow. The elephant in the room, of course, was the incident with your teammate. He has already come up into the booth. We had him come in mid-race, and he said it was a bit of a dumb move on his part and apologizes. Your take on everything, and then just tell us about your race in general. I don't think you even saw what happened on the first lap. I think it happened all behind you, or did you happen to just avoid it? Go ahead.
As far as the first incident, I didn't know anything about it. Like, I heard stuff over the radio, but it wasn't anything that I necessarily need to be concerned about. But as long as this thing with Will, like we were talking when it happened, I already apologized. I think I still could have made it so we both made it through, but cold tires are really hard, are really, really bad here. They're sliding all over the place. And I tried to hold it as tight as I can, but I started sliding out wide, and I was hoping that we both made it. Like, he backed out maybe, or tried to do an over-under or something. And then he said he went into the wall, and I don't care what he said. If it's his fault, I still feel really bad. Like, we could have had a solid 1-2. It's just a shame that had to happen. Like, I'm glad to get the win, but that's one of us. It still should have been a 1-2, I think. I think I could have made it. So, like I said, I could have made it so we both made it just fine.
Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah. Congratulations on the win. Again, building that momentum up. You've been getting, feels like, stronger and stronger throughout the season. How are you feeling there towards the end of the race? I know that unfortunate incident, like we touched upon, but just having that over 40-second gap to your next challengers behind you. Did you let up at all? Did you just stay composed? Because I know a lot of times if you're not going as fast as you normally do, you can just make a mistake. So how'd you handle that?
I backed off a lot. I just wanted to pretty much just bring it home. So it was pretty much just making sure I didn't hit anything, make sure I didn't lock up anywhere. And if they were going to catch up, that's all on them. And you have to take a lot of risks here to make up time to get that lap time. And I think they were also battling behind me too. So it's pretty much just make it home, get the win.
This is you were in yesterday's split where I think you were on the podium there. So 2 races, 2 podiums, 1 win. Have you had your fill of Chicago yet, or you want to do it one more time?
I think I might do one more. Just one. It depends. Cause talking to some people like Adam Crane, who's there Wednesday, and some people today. To be like, the scariest part of this track is not the walls, it's not the bumps. The scariest part for me is running into traffic, because there's such a speed discrepancy between people that like you will run into them very quick. You don't know if they're going to make a mistake and spin, and every spin here is a track blocker, so it's kind of like you are on edge. There's not a lot of places to let people by very easily, so you just have to hope everybody plays ball and makes everything as easy as possible.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think by far of all the tracks we visited, most everyone, because it's top split, is pretty much on the pace. I think this probably had the greatest differential between, the fast cars at the front and cars just kind of struggling at the back just because of damage or just wanting to play it safe. We don't really see that in a lot of top split races. So yeah, good point. Trying to pass someone here, even in the best of times, is very hard. But man, you did it today. You definitely earned it, and you got a bunch of shout outs, I'm sure. So go ahead, take all the time you need to make those, because you are the champion today.
All right. Thanks to the family and friends once again. Shout out to the team. They've helped me a lot with the setup this week. Running a few laps here or there, even though we weren't too confident running here to race. Definitely gave me some feedback to make the setup a lot better. And shout out to everybody that survived this race. I know it was a battle of attrition, so and once again, thanks for broadcasting, guys.
No problem. Our pleasure. Well, congratulations on the win. We will hopefully see you in 2 weeks at Gateway.
Yeah, see you guys.
Whew. We knew this today was going to be something. We knew it. We knew going. When we saw it on the schedule, we knew as we got closer, or we knew it as we were talking to people, and it had to be proven, and we saw it, and it was quite. I guess the other way is just quite something.
Yeah, great. I mean, great proof of concept. It had that old school feel, like I said earlier, of not just racing the competitors, but racing the track and dealing with the conditions on the track and your resources and your tires, etc. But all in all, it was very entertaining. I was on the edge of my seat almost the whole time, even like just that inevitability, even towards the end of the race when everything was kind of spread out there. But yeah, great battle. It's great to see Kevin have a result. Again, Rashad building that momentum to keep the title challenge alive for multiple IAR cars. A little sad to see Will, speaking of IAR, go off there. But he'll bounce back, I'm sure, and still keep a challenge. I'm almost speechless with how much occurred there. Kraus having a good run, Crozier having that early incident, unfortunately. Just a lot of storylines coming out of this as we start to round the corner to Gateway, coming towards closer to the end of the season here.
All right, so that's it for today. If you guys get on Peacock here in about 15 minutes, practice 1 IndyCar at Nashville. So you don't have much of a wait to get your IndyCar fix after this. So that's it today. Once again, your podium from the second city is Rashid Craig survives to win. David Porcelli survives to get the second. And Kevin Burrell comes through with a bottom step podium but a very happy bottom step podium nevertheless. Join Racers again in 2 weeks for round 14 of the IndyCar iRacing Series. It is the last oval race of the season as the series moves to just outside of St. Louis and a stop at Gateway. Matt Houston and Nick will be on the call. Coverage should begin approximately 2 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube. Again, that's 2 p.m. Eastern on YouTube at youtube.com/raceverse. As always, check your official iRacing schedule or our channel for the correct time in your area. And like we said before, you don't want to miss it. Hey, we love bringing these races to you, but they're not as easy and they require time and money to produce. If you share a passion for the sport of IndyCar and enjoyed our coverage of the IndyCar iRacing Series, please take time to visit our GoFundMe page. The link is in the description, and we'll go ahead and put the graphic up there to donate to our IndyCar iRacing Broadcast Series Fund. We realize times are tough, so any contribution would be greatly appreciated, and we thank you for watching and making us part of your Fridays during IndyCar race weekends. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not easy, so please help support Raceverse with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought today's race. And if you enjoyed today's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. We always like thumbs up. We really appreciate that. And all the guys today, they earned it, so give it to them. If you're new, click subscribe and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so you don't miss more on Raceverse's iRacing programming, and we have a lot of it now. Definitely subscribe and hit the bell. Keep your browser set here for the most in-depth IndyCar knowledge on all of iRacing. Raceverse, we know what Indy means. For business inquiries to learn more about Raceverse and what we do, visit raceverse.com or follow us on Twitter. Here are all of our Twitter handles. You want to add us right there. Raceverse, myself, and Nick. So for Nick Sadiq and everyone at Raceverse, I'm Gary Gottswood saying all thanks for watching, and to all of our men and women in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Be sure to watch and catch the real stars and cars of the NTT IndyCar Series this weekend from the Nashville Street Course on the Peacock app or your local NBC affiliate. Check local listings and time and availability in your area. Thanks again, everyone. Catch us again in 2 weeks at Gateway for the next race of the IndyCar iRacing Series. Good night.